morning, everybody. Hey, I got a question of the day. I've been doing like one day I asked you what your favorite hot sauce is, and I don't know. There have been questions recently. Anyway, my question of the day is, and I'd like you to get creative in the chat. What is something that you would substitute for the opposite of slut shaming? What is the opposite of slut shaming? But, well, the reason I ask is those four big tech guys, four of the five major big tech guys were in a hearing on Capitol Hill yesterday, and I was just thinking, God, these nerd virgins have so much control over your life, even if you don't participate in any of their platforms or services. They still have an amazing amount of control over what happens in this country. So I just thought it'd be an interesting question to find out, what exactly would you call the opposite of slut shaming? Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about that hearing and some other breaking news. Here's the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawg Knight on the internet. Some people call me Lawyer Dog, but PDawg Knight's the channel. Thanks for coming back and welcome on this fabulous Thursday, the 30th of July, 2020. It's the 384th episode of the Morning Night Live. And I'm glad you're all here. We got, you know what we do here. We talk about some of the daily news, the trending topics. Well, we don't talk about, I've kind of ended that trending topic thing versus breaking news. So we'll be talking about some breaking news, or we'll see if we can find any. And the big news yesterday, though, was the big hearing on Capitol Hill. Now, it wasn't the only news. There was still plenty of, there was the federal government and the city of Portland have come to an agreement about removing some of the federal agents from around their federal building. Apparently that agreement requires the city of Portland to do a little more to protect the building. And it seems like, now I don't know the details. I haven't even read it. We'll probably hit a story about it today, but seems like it just seems like the government, they're not backing down. No, they're not. But they are going to see what Portland does. See if Portland actually does their job. And not necessarily, look, a lot of people want to make this about, you're hurting peaceful protesters. No, not at all. Not at all. They're just, they're trying to stop people from breaking shit. There's a difference between protesting and breaking shit. And there it goes. There goes my first swear of the 10 minutes of the show. Yeah, it happens. But sometimes I just can't help myself. Anyway, before we get started, let's say good morning, everybody, like I always do. First in the chat today is the most redundant name on the internet. CNN sucks. Who gets the bell? And the bell worked. Fantastic. Also, good morning, Aloysius Fudpucker. Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate, Renee Mayette, Attack Alpaca, Big Assassin 80, Select a Boy.
How dare you?
Whoops. Select a Boy. Yeah, boy. Sorry about that. Good morning, Cindy Rochelle. Has here. Good morning. I'm here, P, he says, or she. I don't know if has he or she, but is here, and that's all I need. Also, good morning. Hey, Larry. That's his name. Good morning, damn it, Chadwick. Robert Lepine. I'm going to try and say right. Beth Castleman. Hey, you haven't been around for a while. Nice welcome back, Beth. Good morning, Cracker Bob, Mike Savage, Amy in Connecticut, the gayest person on YouTube. Now, excuse me, not Amy in Connecticut. Amy in Connecticut and the gayest person on YouTube are two separate people. I always got to make sure I do that. Who is the gayest person on YouTube is saying cock blocking. Oh, for the name, another name for the opposite of slut shaming. And I guess leave the shaming part in, but I'm thinking in return in terms of these four tech giants who. Of course, now it's funny because I laugh because I want to call them these, the nerd virgins who control your life. But hey, any guy with that much money is surely getting some somehow. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Also, good morning to who else is here? Tyler F, Balin Bobby. I said Alex Fucker already. Who else here? Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Donatello Slap a Fellow. And, okay, good. All right. Oh, and Cynical Lindsay, who says, yeah, how dare you select a boy? Okay, I don't know what that's all about. I hope y'all are, I don't know what you're doing. Oh, Zombie Teddy, no room for squares. Did I miss anyone else up here? Oh, I hope not. Zombie Teddy, you got a new Abby. I like that. Okay, that's cool. I think I got everybody so far. There's a lot of people here already. Way to jump into the show, people. If you are lurking in the background, just keep lurking. Don't drive off the road or get in trouble at work. Also, good morning, Enziker. Just, do your thing. Stay there in the background. I appreciate you just listening, or if you're listening to a replay, hey, that's fantastic too. Whatever it takes to grow the audience. By the way, real quick, I'm just going to do the show now. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please share this stream. The share arrow down there, the PDawg.live link. Why did I do that? I did that backwards. The share or follow me on Twitter. Mine's Gab or Parler, and you can repost, retweet, republish, or what's that other one? Echo. They call it Echo on Gab, or no, on Parler they call it Echo. Now I'm active on Twitter. The other three occasionally post on Parler, but it's pretty rare so far, other than using it as a notification machine. But some of you are not on Twitter and prefer to do other platforms. So I hope you follow me on one of those if you're on any of those, and and then share this out with other people you know. And then finally, obviously, you can do super chats and donations through the Streamlabs link in the description down below, or right there in the chat, because this show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your super chats read live on the show and become a permanent part of this episode of the Morning Night Live. All right, let's get into a little bit from yesterday. The tech guys, I'm gonna kind of stick with. I got 4 related articles to this tech thing, and if you weren't aware, the tech giant heads of the big tech companies went on Capitol Hill yesterday and testified before a committee. And it's funny because the Democrat committees, the chairman of these Democratic committees, I don't know who they think they are. I mean, Nadler and this one was Chick Leone. What's his name? I don't know what the hell the dude's name is. But they act like tyrants. Hello, Joe Scarborough and Rolling Bear. How you doing? They act like tyrants, and it's kind of funny how incredibly rude they are, and just so indignant about anything that the Republicans say, and the Republicans kind of laugh at them as they're making their points, and it's just, they're just pure hate. It's amazing how awful these people are. But anyway, let's talk about Jim Jordan, because Jim Jordan, who I know the left hates Jim Jordan. I don't care. Jim Jordan's, they hate it because he's effective, and he came out swinging. I got to tell you, he came out swinging. I was going to say he came out swinging like Ron Jeremy, but that's not what I meant to say. Big tech is out to get conservatives, Jim Jordan warns, and he gave 15 examples. Hello, Sapphire Dragon. He gave 15 examples. On Wednesday, Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio powerfully denounced big tech companies for censoring conservatives. At the beginning of the big tech hearing, he gave 15 examples, some of which are questionable, but many of which are legitimately worrisome. Now, that's according to this article. So here we go. I'll just cut to the chase. Big tech is out to get conservatives, Jordan declared. That's not a suspicion. That's not a hunch. That's a fact. He launched into a long list of examples. PJ Media has organized them chronologically. So here we go. May 19, 2016. Former Facebook employees admit Facebook routinely suppresses conservative views. July 2018. 2 years ago, Twitter shadow banned 2 members of this committee, Jordan alleged. He claimed that Twitter shadow banned Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida and Mark Meadows of North Carolina. Now, wait a minute. He's got 3, and Devin Nunes. 4 members. I see. Not 2 members. They shadow banned Representative Matt Gaetz, Mark Meadows, Devin Nunes, and himself. He mocked Twitter's response, claiming it was just a glitch in the algorithm. Yes, just a glitch. November 1st, 2018. Facebook silences a pro-life organization's advertisement. That I remember that. Hello, Zero the Hero. I remember that. I can't remember the name of the group. Was that I can't even remember the name of the group, but I remember that happened, and they claimed it. They said, nope, you can't do that here. You can't have this political message, but you can have those other political messages. Anyway, April 19th, 2020, Google and YouTube announced a policy censoring the censoring the content that conflicts with recommendations of the World Health Organization, Jordan noted. He reminded the audience that the WHO is the same organization that lied to us about the coronavirus pandemic, the organization that shilled for China. And it's funny because they say they won't publish things that... Susan literally came out in an interview, said, we will not publish anything that conflicts with World Health Organization. Except for the World Health Organization, who has, they say this on Twitter too, the World Health Organization, which has conflicted themselves, has contradicted themselves in many ways over and over again. Even there's even tweets up telling people that, in fact, remember the tweet when the WHO had that tweet that said, there's no evidence of human to human human to human transmission of this new coronavirus. That tweet is still up. They haven't taken it down yet, even though. So, yeah. But if you or I were to contradict the WHO, well, that could be a problem. And note, YouTube, as you review this, I am not currently on this particular broadcast contradicting the WHO. Just FYI, don't take my stream down, don't take my video down. May 27, 2020. Amazon Smile won't let you give to the Family Research Council and the Alliance Defense Fund, but you can give to Planned Parenthood, Jordan said, referring to Amazon's Smile reliance on the far-left smear factory, the Southern Poverty Law Center, to ban the Family Research Council and Alliance for Defending Freedom, previously known as Alliance Defense Fund, from Amazon's charity platform. You can't even give to charities you want to give to or organizations you want to give to because that's the other thing. The SPLC deemed both of those as hate groups. Wow. May 28, 2000. Now, and I'm look at, by the way, I'm not a fan of the Family Research Council. I think they kind of have some of their functions are fine, and some I think they're hype, but whatever. I don't care. If you have a platform that allows you to give to nonprofit organizations, who are you to tell me what nonprofit organizations I can give to through your platform? Now, I guess you won't be doing that. Moving on. May 28, 2020. Twitter censors President Trump tweet on the riots in Minneapolis. May 29, 2020. Twitter censors the White House for quoting Trump's censored tweet. June 4, 2020. Amazon bans a book critical of the coronavirus lockdowns written by a conservative commentator. Wow, Amazon Books is banning books? Are they burning them too? Just curious. June 16th, 2020. Google threatens to demonetize and ban The Federalist. Oh, I thought journalism was sacrosanct. Sacrosanct? However you say that, sacrosanct? I thought journalism was sacrosanct. Oh, not that kind of journalism. Okay, never mind. June 19, 2020. Facebook removes post from President Trump's re-election campaign. I thought election interference was illegal. Yes, big fat FFS 2020. June 23rd, 2020. Twitter censors the president again for saying he'll enforce the rule of law against any autonomous zone in Washington, D.C. They didn't like his wording. June 29, 2020. Amazon bans President Trump's account on Twitch after he raises concern about defunding the police. Really? July 20, 2020. Google removes the homepages of Breitbart and the Daily Caller from their search functions. Now, that's amazing. That is truly amazing. And I don't know what their reason for that was. But again, Breitbart and the Daily Caller, regardless of if you agree with them or not, are legitimate news outlets. And so removing their homepages from Google, that's a big damn deal. I know it hurt Breitbart's viewership for a little while. Their traffic for a short period of time, like almost 90% of the traffic they lost for a while. I think that's come back, but still. July 21st, 2020. Ayatollah Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world, tweeted, quote, "The Islamic Republic of Iran will never forget the martyrdom of Soleimani and will definitely strike a reciprocal blow in the United States," end quote. Jordan noted that Twitter did not censor Khamenei, who threatened American citizens, but the president says he won't allow an autonomous zone and he gets censored. July 28, 2020. Just last night we learned Google has censored Breitbart so much traffic has declined 99%. Okay, hang on a second. I need to pause for a moment. Just a moment.
Here's Justin.
And my microphone wasn't on, so there you go. Welcome back. Yes, that was elevator music. Hey Zimgoa, how you doing? All right, and Cracker Bob, how you doing? I think, and hey Camel, showed in, Grilling Pirate Pete. A bunch of people came in while I was on my little pause there. So anyway, the point of this is some of the examples that Jordan mentioned are not necessarily examples of big tech censoring conservatives. Claim of shadow banning are difficult to prove, except there are places you can do where the they can tell if you're shadow banned and you ran their names through that system and they were in fact shadow banned. Claims of shadow banning are difficult to prove, and it remains unclear exactly why the home pages of many sites, in addition to Breitbart and the Daily Caller, did not show up in Google searches on July 20th. That said, some of these examples are rather straightforward. The SPLC, for example, has a long history of smearing conservative and Christian organizations as, quote, hate groups, end quote, comparing them to the Ku Klux Klan. Amazon's continued reliance on the SPLC, even after the SPLC's racial discrimination and sexual harassment scandal last year, is a serious black mark on the company's record. Oh, that was racist. You can't say black mark anymore. Twitter's censorship attack on Trump are particularly noxious. Jordan concluded his remark by mentioning Google's attempts to boost the Latino vote in 2016, apparently hoping that these efforts would boost Hillary Clinton. We saw what Google did in 2016. We all know about the email the day after the elections where top executives about Google talked about the silent donation Google made to the Clinton campaign, Jordan said. We're 97 days before an election, the congressman noted. We all think the free market's great. We think competition's great. We love the fact that these are American companies. But what's not great is censoring people, censoring conservatives, and trying to impact elections. If it doesn't end, there have to be consequences. So I'm not going to play Jordan's 4 minutes, 51 seconds because I just took about 4 minutes off my show with my thing there. But anyway, further on, Matt Gaetz, I don't know how he says his name. I know you can't mispronounce Pramila Jayapal's name because she gets very upset. But Matt Gaetz, whatever it is, Google's using the market dominance in search to engage in election interference. So more examples from Matt Gaetz. Representative Matt Gaetz, Florida, said during a House Judiciary Committee on Wednesday on big tech and antitrust that Google is using its market dominance in search to engage in election interference, such as censoring Breitbart News and other conservative outlets. Gaetz asked Google CEO Sundar Pichai about the company's alleged manipulation of its search algorithm to censor conservative voices. After questioning Pichai, the Google CEO admitted that the search giant allows for manual manipulation of its algorithm. Interesting. Gaetz cited Breitbart News alum Bakari, Breitbart News' Alam Bakari, who wrote on Tuesday that Google purged Breitbart News from its search results and that Google has diminished Breitbart News search visibility by 99.7%. Gaetz said the conservative outlets such as the Daily Caller, Breitbart News, and the Western Journal appear to have been particularly targeted and subsequently lost search visibility on Google. He charged that this manipulation of its search engine amounts to election interference. Right, because I bet, it didn't happen to the Daily Beast, didn't happen to HuffPost, didn't happen to Share Blue or Media Matters, but it always seems to happen in one direction. It's amazing. Anyway, here's what Gaetz charged. Quote, "You said something today different than you did with Miss Lofgren. You confess that there is a manual component to the way in which you blacklist content. It seems to be no coincidence that sites like Gateway Pundit, The Western Journal, American Spectator, Daily Caller, and Breitbart that receive the ire or the negative treatment as a consequence of your manual tooling. And it also seems noteworthy that whistleblowers at your own company have spoken out. You said that one of the reasons you maintain this manual tool is to stop election interference. I believe it is in fact your company that is engaging in election interference. You're using your market dominance in search to accomplish that election interference," gets added. Now, Pichai, of course, said,
How dare you?
No, that's not what he said. He said, I strongly disagree with that characterization. We don't approach this work with any political viewpoint. We do that to comply with the law. Known copyright violations, very narrow circumstances, and we have to do that to comply with the law. And in many cases, those requests come from law enforcement agencies, the Google CEO said. Yes, I'm sure there's some law enforcement agencies out there that are saying, hey, what's all this Breitbart shit popping up on my search for? I'm sure that's what Breitbart is also abducting children in the streets, like those federal agents that are abducting. Wait a minute, they're not abducting people, they're just arresting people. Never mind. Anyway, a couple stories here. Also, big tech must be brought to heel over election influencing, says Divine. This is Miranda Devine. The war on conservative voices online reaches a fever pitch in the run-up to November presidential election. Silicon Valley oligarchy. You know, it's funny how the left loves oligarchies all of a sudden, too. It's like, oh, yeah, let's just let these these four nerd virgins have control of what's said in the world. What if they change their mind? What if the nerd virgins suddenly have a change of heart and decide to be conservative? I know that's just fucking silly. Anyway, as the war on conservative voices online reaches a fever pitch in the run-up to the November's presidential election, Silicon Valley's oligarchy finally was called to account on Wednesday on Capitol Hill. Big tech is out to get conservatives, Ohio Republican Jim Jordan told the bosses of Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Apple. Notice that Jack wasn't there. He's still out on his vision quest or whatever. But they did this by teleconferencing, so I don't know why Jack didn't show up. Jack, you got some problems, man. Twitter is a dumpster fire. But anyway, that's not a suspicion. That's not a hunch. That's a fact, according to Jordan. Then he laid out a litany of censorship atrocities in the blistering opening statement, which we just went through. We went through those already. But then, of course, there's Twitter. CEO Jack Dorsey was absent from the hearing despite an invitation, but that did not stop Jordan from excoriating the social media giant. He said Twitter shadow banned 4 conservative members of Congress 2 years ago. We already talked about that. What did Mr. Dorsey tell us? It was just a glitch. It's just a glitch. Just a glitch. We've heard that excuse time and time again. Also, let's see. While Twitter did not appear on Capitol Hill, in Israel's Knesset, a Twitter spokesman during the hearing on anti-Semitism Wednesday was grilled about political bias. She was asked why the tweets from President Trump have been censored, but not tweets from Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, calling for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel. World leaders indulging in foreign policy saber rattling. Man, my tongue is twisted today. Saber rattling on military and economic issues are generally not in violation of our Twitter rules, the spokeswoman said. Yeah, by contrast, she said Trump's tweet violated Twitter's policies regarding the glorification of violence based on the historical context of the last line of that tweet and the risk it could possibly inspire harm. Now, wait a minute. So the Iranians calling for genocide and calling for strikes on Americans and has no what did she say? Historical context that could possibly inspire events or something like that? Holy shit. Anyway, Jordan also pointed out that Khamenei, the leader of the largest state-sponsored terrorism last week, threatened American citizens in a tweet. We just talked about that. He quoted the tweet. The Islamic Republic of Iran will never forget the martyrdom of Haj Qasem Soleimani, the Iranian general suspected of carrying out terrorist operations who was killed by a targeted drone strike. And we will definitely strike a reciprocal blow to the U.S. Wow. Did they think that now what was her quote? Okay, she said Trump violated Twitter's policy regarding the glorification of violence based on the historical context of the last line of that tweet and the risk it could possibly inspire harm. The risk it could possibly inspire harm. Now let's read this tweet from Khamenei again. The Islamic Republic of Iran will never forget the martyrdom of Haj Qasem Soleimani and will definitely strike a reciprocal blow to the U.S. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
There is no warning label affixed to Khamenei's tweet. Yeah, but they put a warning label on his. Oh, hello. Check DMs. I will do that. Yep, I'm going to do some breaking news. Good morning, MC.
Hammer time.
Hey, good morning, Johnny Hellcat. Good morning. All right. Anyway, so we got the gist of that. And, but really, this whole hearing, and I agree with there's a New York Post editorial regarding this hearing, and I think it's pretty spot on. Congress flails as big tech power grows. On Wednesday's House grilling of tech CEOs didn't feature quite as much posturing as the sit-down with Attorney General William Barr the day before, but it was almost as much a waste of time. The Judiciary Committee's Antitrust Subcommittee was ostensibly questioning the heads of Google, Facebook, Apple, and Amazon on concerns the tech giants have become too big and powerful. But members frequently cut the witnesses off before they had a chance to get in more than a few words of response. Oh, yeah! That never happens at these hearings, right? Reclaiming my time, Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler said in shushing Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg after asking him whether he illegally acquired Instagram with the intent of crushing a competitor. Wow. Is that what Jerry's worried about? Then Obama-era Federal Trade Commission approved this. The Obama-era Federal Trade Commission approved the sale in 2012, or was it a chimp? What? It was simply a cheap stunt for multiple members to complain now, when it's clear nothing will reverse it. It was approved by the Obama administration. Anyway, Subcommittee Chairman David Cicilline used his opening statement to intone, "These platforms enjoy the power to pick winners and losers, shake down small businesses, and enrich themselves while choking off competitors." Sounds like a lot like Congress, actually. Other members went off on truly head-thumping tangents. One Republican wanted to know why his campaign emails were going into his father's spam folder. A Democrat pressed Amazon's Jeff Bezos on the sale of knockoff products on the site. None of it did a lick of good, even with serious topics such as social media companies censorship standards. The format of each member getting just 5 minutes around to ask questions and get them answered left no room for anything but spin. We do not want to become arbiters of truth, Zuckerberg declared, yet they have, and that's the only part of the incredible power these companies have acquired. Far too much power in most people's minds, yet the members of Congress, through their technological ignorance and insistence on speechifying, can't seem to ask the right questions, let alone offer answers. So the tech moguls ran circles around the politicians, even as they continued to amass more and more power and put their fingers on the scales of modern discussion. So that's that. All right, enough about this hearing. I want to see what this breaking news is. Thank you. Who sent that to me? Was it Johnny? No, it was MC or Johnny Hellcat? MC. No, Hate Camel. Hate Camel said there's breaking news. Let me check my messages here. Because that's what we're here for. We want to find out what's happening in the world and what we want to talk about things before anyone else gets to it. And the breaking news is, oh my God. Well, this is breaking news. Herman Cain has passed away. Herman Cain has died almost a month after being hospitalized for the coronavirus. Just waiting for the assholes This is not, it's, let's see here. Wow. Here's the Axios story. Herman Cain dies from coronavirus. Former Republican presidential candidate and ex-CEO of Godfather's Pizza, Herman Cain, 74, has died almost a month after being hospitalized for coronavirus. Cain, the co-chair of Black Voices for Trump, was in a high-risk group due to his history with cancer. Cain's positive coronavirus test came less than 2 weeks after he attended President Trump's controversial campaign rally in Tulsa, where he tweeted a picture of himself without a mask. Of course, they're going to talk about the mask. As if, yeah, whatever. Public health officials said warn that the large-scale rally could infect many people and put lives at risk. It's unclear whether Cain contracted the virus at the Trump rally. Oh, it's unclear. So they're saying that's a possibility? Oh, okay. While in the hospital, Cain commented on a July 4th celebration at Mount Rushmore, tweeting, "Masks will not be mandatory for the event, which will be attended by President Trump. People are fed up." Oh, let's see. They got a little thing about what they're saying here. Who wrote? Oh, this is okay. Herman Cain. Let me deal with some of the particulars of the last few weeks. We knew when he first was hospitalized with COVID-19 that this was going to be a rough fight. He had trouble breathing and was taken to the hospital by ambulance. We all prayed that the initial meds they gave him would get his breathing back to normal, but it became clear pretty quickly that he was in for a battle. We didn't release detailed updates on his condition to the public or to the media because neither his family nor we thought there was any reason for that. There were hopeful indicators, including a mere 5 days ago when doctors told us they thought he would eventually recover, although it wouldn't be quick. We were relieved to be told that and passed on the news via Herman's social media. And yet we also felt real concern about the fact that he never quite seemed to get to the point where doctors could advance him to the recovery phase. And that's from Herman Cain's website. And of course, this announcement, this is terrible. It's tragic because it was so avoidable. One dumb mistake, poor guy. One dumb mistake. What was that mistake? That's curious. There's no way to know where Herman Cain got this. For all you know, he had it before, after, whatever. More like a series of stupid mistakes. Well, add his body to the pile of $150,000, and the $150,000 that you're dancing on. You know what? I can't even do this. People are evil. People are evil, and they're just going to be complete and utter dickheads about it. I can't imagine. I gotta imagine that Herman Cain, being one of 150,000 people who've died from this virus in the United States, I can't imagine that he's the only conservative. I can't imagine he's the only liberal. I can't imagine he's the only. There are no libertarians. I can't imagine there are people who are agnostic, atheist, Christians, Buddhist, Muslim, Hispanic, Black, White, Chinese, Asians, Japanese, whatever. I'm sure there are people from all walks of life, all sorts of things that have died from this. So, but you know what? It's going to get milked. Trumper dies. There'll be celebrations about this. And that's just sick. That's just sick to me. Let's move on. The revolution is having some issues. And Byron New York has a very interesting column in the Washington Examiner today. The revolution devours itself in Portland. Remember the Wall of Moms? In just 2 weeks, the group of women supporting rioters attacking the federal courthouse in Portland have received fawning attention In many media reports, activist moms are everywhere, said the New York Times. They sing lullabies. They link arm in arm, forming a human barricade between protesters and federal agents. Some wear respirators, gas masks, and helmets. Some hand out sunflowers. Aww. The Times reported that the Wall of Moms group are forming around the country. Seattle, Oakland, Aurora, Colorado, Missouri, North Carolina, Alabama, Texas, Chicago, and more. It's truly a national movement. But then, a hint of trouble. The Wall of Moms groups consist of predominantly white women who have garnered a swell of attention that black mothers protesting in Portland for months did not receive, participants and organizers said in interviews. In other words, the Wall of Moms are too white. Now it looks like a racial divide is destroying the original Wall of Moms in Portland. The Oregonian has published a news story, quote, Portland Wall of Moms crumbles amid online allegations by former partner, Don't Shoot PDX. The paper reported that members of a black-led group, Don't Shoot Portland, which has existed for 6 years and is affiliated with the Black Lives Matter movement, have accused the leaders of the Wall of Moms, just gotta say it, of anti-blackness. Trouble was brewing last week, the Oregonian reported, when Wall of Moms announced on Friday that its white leadership, I'm sure they said our white leadership, said that its white leadership had rescinded their positions to allow women of color to be in charge. But that wasn't enough. On Wednesday, Don't Shoot Portland took a very big shot at the Wall of Moms, charging that the group is only interested in driving federal law enforcement out of Portland and perpetuating itself, not supporting black causes. Oh. The lies are finally clear. We are sad, but ultimately not surprised that anti-blackness showed its ugly face with Wall of Moms. Oh my God. Let them destroy each other. I don't even care. Don't Shoot Portland wrote in an Instagram post, this all came to light over the last 24 hours. We began having safety concerns within the group because black women started saying they were not protected by Wall of Moms leadership. Who the fuck were they protecting? Look, first of all, you're in Portland. You know we're out here playing Where's Waldo looking for black people. But there were some black women in that Wall of Moms. Well, there weren't many because it's Where's Waldo. But does the Wall of Moms only protect the white assholes in that crowd of people trying to break shit, or are they standing in front of all of the assholes standing in that crowd trying to break shit? I don't get it. Don't Shoot Portland was particularly angry that Beverly Barnum, the white founder of Wall of Moms, has filed papers with the state of Oregon to register Wall of Moms as a business, a 501c3 charity organization that is capable of receiving tax-free contributions. Ooh, is this a grift? I don't know. The president of the news organization would be, you guessed it, Beverly Barnum. Barnum acted in secret, Don't Shoot Portland charged, and without knowledge of the black leadership Wall of Moms was claiming to implement. Don't Shoot Portland even helpfully provided links to Barnum's filings. So now, riven by racial strife, the future of the newly incorporated Wall of Moms is unclear. Remember the saying from the American intellectual Eric Hoffer, every great cause begins as a movement, becomes a business, and eventually degenerates into a racket. Wall of Moms transitioned from the movement stage to the business stage in record time, a matter of days. It may already be well on its way to becoming a racket. So the very movement the national media celebrated Wall of Moms as a movement spreading across the country, singing lullabies and handing out sunflowers. The original Wall of Moms in Portland was collapsing from its own internal tensions. Should anyone be surprised? I'm not. I'm not at all. And the other funny thing about that, the Wall of Moms, a lot of those so-called moms, are some of the same, what's a good term, activists that have been out there writing before they called themselves a Wall of Moms. Oh, let's have a Wall of Moms. Let's put on yellow shirts now and we'll pretend to be a Wall of Moms. And oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Let's see. I'll do one more and then we'll get into more breaking news. Dan Bongino. Oh, if you watch the AG Barr's testimony the other day, you kind of noticed a theme where Democrats didn't really want to hear about anything regarding, some current investigations until one of the very last questions from one of the representatives who asked Attorney General Barr, will you commit, hilarious question here, and this is not verbatim, but this is the basic of the question. Will you assure the American people that John Durham's report will not be released before the election? And General Barr kind of looked dumbfounded and was like, no. And then she's kind of went into, you're breaking Justice Department policy, to which Attorney General Barr said, I am Justice Department policy. But they were saying that they were, Barr said earlier this year that he wasn't going to allow any investigations to begin that would have any impact on the election, meaning investigations into candidates, for example. Okay, so he wouldn't have any partisan investigations. What he didn't say is that people not involved in elections, James Comey, John Brennan, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, what's that? Klein, what the hell's that dude? Klein Smith, the guy who forged information in an email to not be so exculpatory so they could keep investigating. He didn't say anything about that. He just said political people, like people who might be like Joe Biden or Hunter Biden, who's being investigated in Ukraine right now. And I thought, oh, gee, this is what the whole hearing was about. They are really worried about John Durham. Well, Dan Bongino, former Secret Service agent, and he's a political pundit now, has 3 reasons why John Durham's report will be horrifying for Democrats. Now, first of all, this investigation, I don't think it's going to produce a report. The purpose of the investigation is not to produce a report. John Durham is not an inspector general, and then the other 2 U.S. attorneys also doing investigations into much of this, one on unmasking and then one who's just helping John Durham. These aren't inspector generals who put a report out. These are prosecutors. These are U.S. attorneys who indict people. It's not about a report. They're either going to indict people or not. There's no report, unless, of course, Congress asks for one. This is not going to be a report. And so I don't even know why Dan Bongino calls it a report, but I digress. Democrats are terrified by what U.S. Attorney John Durham will put in his report according to conservative commentator Dan Bongino. The Fox News host Sean Hannity had the former Secret Service agent and Representative Devin Nunes, the top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee, on a show Wednesday night, and they touched on Attorney General William Barr's testimony the day before in which he refused to rule out releasing Durham's report before Election Day. I think it's going to be indictments of certain people. Hannity mentioned that Democrats are scared to death of Durham's criminal inquiry into the Russia investigation, a point which Bongino drew out in his comments. There are three things we know that are going to be really horrifying for the Democrats, okay? He said. Number one, we know that a January meeting happened where we know Steele's sources were garbage. Bongino added, January of 2017. So what Mueller was doing, we still have no idea. He was referring to the British ex-spy Christopher Steele, whose unverified and flawed dossier was used by the FBI in its counterintelligence investigation into ties between the Trump campaign and Russia, and Special Counsel Robert Mueller, who closed his investigation last year. Bongino continued to touch on recent document disclosures that have further shredded the Russia collusion narrative that was hung over President Trump's time in office. You know what's funny about this whole thing, too? There's a large part of the country who has no idea what's going on because the most of the media is not telling you about it, but it comes out in articles online and some news outlets tell you about all these things that are coming out. But then you talk to somebody online through Twitter or whatever, and they're still talking about Putin's puppet and all this shit, and it's like, did you, or even that saying, oh, these investigations are political. Did you see the notes that Peter Strzok wrote when he was in these meetings that they've declassified now? This whole thing was BS. Anyway, we know that the FBI interviewed the translator in that meeting with Donald Trump Jr. He said, referring to the notes about the infamous 2016 Trump Tower meeting, the translator said, no, Don Jr. is telling the truth, and I don't even like Don Jr. That's what the translator of the meeting said. And we know now FBI notes from January 2017 said, hey, all those media stories about Trump's contact with the Russians, yeah, it's a load of BS. That was Peter Strzok himself who said they were fake. They were bullshit. Hello, Gabriel Verleen. Hi, Richo. What's up? And Midday Sun. Democrats are fretting about that Durham's report could amount to an October surprise, but Barr has insisted the investigation will have no improper bearing on the election because it's not focused on either of the major candidates, Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. Barr said, and the Justice Department said they expect developments by summer's end. So there's a whole, it's amazing. A lot of these things that have been declassified. I've been watching other, other creators talk about them, and if you follow Tracy Bean, she goes through a lot of these things in detail. There's a bunch of people out there that go through these items in detail, and it's just amazing that one, there haven't already been indictments. Just the person who, I think it was Kleinsmith, who altered an email to make it say the opposite of what it said regarding Carter Page, because the CIA said Carter Page was an asset, and it said that it's made the opposite, right? So I'm just like, you guys, how come he's not already in jail? He forged evidence used by the FBI to get a FISA warrant. I think everyone involved with those FISA warrants could be charged, including Rod Rosenstein. Rod Rosenstein, who brought on Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Rod Rosenstein signed all 4 of the FISA warrants, which they know, and the FISA court's not happy about it, were all illegitimate. All illegitimate, right? So, I'll tell you what. there's some people. There's going to be people getting jail time. There's going to be indictments. You think Trump associates had indictments and convictions? There's very little doubt that some of these people lied, cheated, committed perjury, made false evidence, made false statements. In fact, they already know how many false statements were made to Congress. It would be a miracle if people didn't go to jail. Now, if this gets brushed back until after the election, into January, and for some reason there's going to be a Biden administration, and if the Democrats take over the House and Senate, if that happens, it's all going to go away. It's got to be brushed under the rug. And then they're going to go after Trump, of course, because that's what they've already said they want to do. They've been, it's funny. I'm shocked and amazed that after how much time they've spent investigating Donald Trump, and all the audits from the IRS and the Mueller investigation and the Southern District of New York, and they're all digging into Donald Trump. All these investigations, all this whatever, focus on him, that they haven't found anything that they can actually charge him with, other than his supposed obstruction of Congress, which, fuck off. You're obstruction of Congress on an investigation that should have never happened. It's amazing. Now, I know this is a silly thing to say, but they're making Donald Trump look like the cleanest businessman on the planet. I doubt that he is. I'm sure there's somewhere where he's did something. But holy shit. It's amazing. Good morning, King Slayer Damocles. What's up? Nothing's gonna happen at FBI's law enforcement. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, all right. Let's check for breaking news before we go, because it's about that time. Top story on the Explore tab today: Southern California has been hit. Oh, they moved it already. Here you go. Southern California has been hit by a 4.2 magnitude earthquake. The U.S. Geological Survey said the preliminary quake hit parts of the state close to Los Angeles at approximately 4:29 a.m. on Thursday. It hit near Pacoima in the San Fernando Valley. Lots of people in Southern California reported feeling the shake. If you're in California, is anyone here from California? Did you feel it? I'm just curious. Let's see. Southern California got an early wake-up call this morning. So out near Santa Clarita, basically in San Fernando Valley, no reports of widespread damage. The earthquake occurred less than a mile from Los Angeles, 4 miles from Santa Clarita, 7 miles from Burbank, and 8 miles from Stevenson Ranch. So I'm sure people will be talking about that today. Although when there's not a lot of damage from earthquake, you'll hear about it, but it won't be probably won't be a big story. The big story today, right now, top, if you weren't here earlier, Herman Cain has died of COVID-19. Some people have been using this opportunity to mock and dunk on Herman Cain. Truly shows how dark and ugly things can be down here. It's not just evil, it's soulless. That's Joe Concha. Don Winslow: Herman Cain's death is tragic, but it was preventable. This man did not have to die. He should have worn a mask in Tulsa and everywhere. He should have warned his followers about coronavirus and not dismissed it, and not celebrated dismissing medical advice and science for Trump. Well, you're making some assumptions there, aren't you? You're making the assumption that it happened in Tulsa. Really? How long ago was Tulsa? I don't know. That was from June 20th. Okay, so that was a little over a month ago. So man, I know. But are all those people around him now? All these people around him are probably going to be tested now. Oh wait, is this the Tulsa rally? What the hell's going on in this picture? Who are all these people? Who are all these people? What are these? Those? That's a Trump rally? the hell are these? What? Okay, I don't know who all these black people at the Trump rally. Everyone in this picture, except for that guy back there. I can't tell with him. That actually looks like James Comey back there, but it's not, I'm sure. Okay, anyway. Yeah, people dunking on Herman Cain. Piers Morgan, sad to hear Herman Cain has died from coronavirus. We vehemently disagreed about everything, but I always enjoyed our joust on air and on Twitter. He was a great character. Rest in peace. Well, classy from Piers Morgan. Good for him. Alan West, the loss of former presidential candidate Herman Cain is deeply personal for me. Herman Cain was a mentor and friend, and we both were born and raised in the same city, Atlanta, Georgia. All right. And yes, Herman Cain did have one of the best smiles. Truly admired him. Self-made man. Okay. Other breaking news right now going on via the Twitter thing. Let's see. We got that. Tim Allen's trending for some reason. I don't know. I have no idea, and I don't care, so I'm not going to click it. NASA has successfully launched the Mars Perseverance rover into space. NASA launched the Perseverance rover to Mars on time from Cape Canaveral, Florida, in a historic mission that will bring back samples from Mars to Earth. Perseverance is now settling in for its 7-month interplanetary flight with an expected February 2021 landing date, and will spend the coming years scouring for signs of ancient microbial life on the planet Mars. So NASA was celebrating that this morning. They did launch, and let's see, how long is this? Here's the countdown.
4.
Okay, maybe. Let's try this.
4.
Oh.
And liftoff. As the countdown to Mars continues, the perseverance of humanity.
Okay, so for whatever reason, that is not playing on my thing. But anyway, now there were some people. It's funny because there were some people critical this morning, and I found it a bit humorous. And I'll show you the tweet that got me laughing about it, as my computer doesn't really want to work for me today. So there's this person who said, maybe they said it, maybe they didn't say it. It's taken forever. Let's see. Maybe they didn't. Maybe I didn't tweet back at her. Anyway, there's a person that was saying, wow, the U.S. in the middle of a pandemic, sending this rocket into space. And I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure they planned this a little more than 5 months ago, because I'm pretty sure that they've been preparing for this for several years, building the rockets and making the lander and whatever. This is not something that they came up with 5 months ago and just got the launch off. So people complaining about, oh, look at the way to use your resources during a pandemic. The resources for this particular mission were probably approved 5 or 6 years ago. And it's probably taken them that long to get this particular mission off the ground. Let's see. Any other news? Oh, interesting. Trump floats election day delay, but only Congress can change the date. Trump tweeted and people talked about it. That's not good. I'm not going to do that. And then Twitter is still promoting the hydroxychloroquine is not an effective treatment for COVID-19. According to the FDA, the anti-malarial drug hydroxychloroquine has been touted as a potential treatment for COVID-19, but the FDA says the drug is unlikely to be affected or revoked emergency use authorization in June. That's because of that little press conference that you're not supposed to talk about by those doctors that you're not supposed to name and your whatever. And then they're only talking about the one doctor. Yeah, whatever. Let's see. Other news. Let's go back to the news tab here. A funeral in Atlanta concludes days of events honoring Congressman John Lewis, which I believe that is happening right now. Criminal proceedings have started in Switzerland against FIFA president Gianni Infantino. The proceedings are part of an investigation by Switzerland into meetings between Infantino and the country's Attorney General Mike Larber, who has since resigned. I'm not sure what that's about. Why they're making it about yes, he's the FIFA president, but I don't think this has anything to do with soccer. I think he's in trouble for something else, but some people might be talking about that today. Let's see what other breaking news. Mystery seeds are showing up in mailboxes, sparking investigations. This happened yesterday. Officials are investigating reports that residents have received seeds in the mail that they didn't order in packages that appear to be from China and Uzbekistan. I just makes you wonder what the hell. The Agriculture Department and state officials have started investigations after hundreds of U.S. residents received unsolicited packages of seeds that appear to mostly have originated from China. I'm telling you.
China is asshole.
I'm just telling you, nobody knows what happened. They reported receiving the package containing seeds, and they appear to be from China. Yeah, they're warned people not to plant them. You know, you know what they probably are? They're probably dinosaur seeds. And when the seed, it's a fast reacting dinosaur seed, and when it grows, like you plant it grows in like an hour, and then it comes and eats you. Or just poisonous plants, who knows? Anyway, civil rights leader John Lewis' final message to the nation. Let's see, put that in here. Shortly before his death, Representative John Lewis wrote an essay to be published upon the day of his funeral. Ordinary people with extraordinary vision can redeem the soul of America. I'll check that out, and maybe we'll read that tomorrow, because that's going to be a little bit longer than I have right now. Plus, I want to just check for more breaking news. Are they magic beanstalk seeds? I'm wondering. I'm telling you, they could be. Also, Representative Louis Gohmert of, I believe, where's Gohmert from? Texas, has tested positive for coronavirus. Politico and ABC News reported the news Wednesday morning. Gohmert, who spends ample time on the U.S. House floor without a mask, was one of several Texas officials scheduled to fly to West Texas this afternoon to be with the president. The Republican law, okay, well, whatever. Jake Sherman, Texas representatives, and they're going to make a big deal about him not wearing a mask. He has not been wearing a mask at Capitol Hill. Gohmert was scheduled to go to Texas with Donald Trump this morning. Story on Politico. Should we read that? Nah, we're not going to read it. Here's what I'll do. I'll put the Politico story in the chat. You know that's going to be the big one today, though, don't you? Don't you know it? Don't you just know that oh, there it is. I don't know why everything's going so slow today. It's supposed to be the chat. Come on, chat. There we go. All right. Let's see. Anything else here before I go? Oh, I got a lot of time left. Oh my gosh. I thought I was farther. I thought I was running out of time. Trump tells voters in the suburbs they will no longer be bothered by low-income housing. Okay, so this was a tweet by the president. On Wednesday, the president said that his administration's move last week to eliminate an Obama-era program aimed at ensuring... Okay, it was aimed at... Now, was it to have results? I don't know. Aimed at ensuring fair local housing policies would raise property values and reduce crime in the suburbs. The administration argued that the rule is a federal overreach into local communities and overburden communities with complicated regulations, according to the New York Times. Now, there's one article that I was reading about this, and I actually bookmarked. In fact, what I'll do is go to some of my news bookmarks now, since I ran out of that. Hello, Colts4, what's up? Here's that. Wait, let's go back to the ABC News. ABC News tweets this out about the space launch. Despite a global pandemic here on Earth, NASA is persevering with its mission to Mars, launching its most advanced Perseverance rover to discover more about our neighboring red planet. What the hell does a global pandemic have to do with this NASA launch? And it's just another one of those things. Remember when we were talking about Chris Cuomo, and he is talking about, in the pandemic, Donald Trump is selling beans? Hey, I'm going to get my car washed. How can you get your car washed in the middle of a pandemic?
How dare you?
Okay. I'm going to go down to the basement, work out. How can you work out during a global pandemic?
How dare you?
We are launching a space mission that's been planned for 5 years. How can you launch a space mission during a global pandemic?
How dare you?
It's just stupid. You know what? I'm going to say it again. Everything, and I mean everything, happening in the world right now is happening during a global pandemic. That hearing that the Democrats called Attorney General William Barr to the House Committee, Intelligence Committee, that happened during a global pandemic.
How dare you?
The House Committee yesterday that hosted the giants of tech and talked to them about how they are either a monopoly or restricting conservatives. That meeting happened during a global pandemic.
How dare you?
Everything's happening during a global pandemic. So no matter what you do, it's a global pandemic. And guess what? I'm doing my show during a global pandemic, and I'm going to continue.
How dare you?
Shut up, Greta. Shut up. Tired of it. Okay. Here's the CNN article regarding Trump's talking about not having the federal government force affordable housing into certain neighborhoods, right? Because why is the government force you to do anything? Let the states do that if they're going to do it. But here's the article from CNN. Of course, CNN sucks. I know that's redundant. President Donald Trump appeals to the suburbs have largely ignored their increasing diversity. Now, why would they put that here? Well, because the name of the article is Trump again attempts to stoke racial division in housing message. So what CNN did in their article at first, what they did is they said that Trump's talking about maybe not having the federal government force affordable housing into the suburbs. What they did is they equated suburbs with white and affordable housing with black, because Trump made no hint of any racial anything about this. But they see suburbs white, affordable housing black. As if people like me don't live in the suburbs. Their whole spin on this was racist. Now, a lot of people were pointing that out all over Twitter. Now, and they were laughing because a lot of black people that I follow were saying, well, it's funny how you always assume that suburbs means white and poor means black. 75% of black people don't live in the poverty. And so now CNN spins it again with their tweet. President Donald Trump's appeals to the suburbs have largely ignored their increasing diversity. No, it didn't. People in the suburbs generally don't want, regardless of what the race is, are wary of putting housing projects in their suburbs. It just is. Now, is that a correct thing or not? I don't know. It doesn't. But regardless, the federal government probably shouldn't be trying to micromanage states, cities, counties, whatever. If states, cities, and counties want to locate things where they want to locate them, let them do it. But the federal government forcing people to do it? Get the fuck out of here. I live in Minnesota, one of the most liberal states in the country. They do a decent job of planning and doing this. But I'll tell you what, a lot of black people live in my, there's black kids in my kids' school, and I live in the suburbs. Whatever. Anyway, let's see. NBA's hypocrisy pandering to China while pitching itself as a social justice league, has been clear for some time. However, Zachary Ferrari says that a new ESPN report shows that hypocrisy was downright despicable. This is actually a fascinating article because, the NBA has been kind of buddy-buddy with China, and they refuse to allow people to do a free Hong Kong as one of their political messages on their jerseys and things like that. Well, there's been a little problem that we saw the other day with the NBA training center in China. Remember hearing about that? The NBA's hypocrisy in pandering to China while pitching itself as a social justice league has been clear for some time. According to an ESPN report, that hypocrisy was downright despicable. Sounds like the tweet I just read. ESPN reported that NBA's basketball academies in China were wrought with abuse, with Chinese coaches physically abusing young players. Commissioner Adam Silver said schooling would be central to the program, but in 2 of the 3 camps, none was provided. American coaches were surveilled and harassed. And the goal of the academies, which took place in Chinese government facilities, was to find new players to increase Chinese excitement for the NBA. 2 former NBA employees told ESPN the league wanted to find another Yao, referring to popular Chinese star Yao Ming. A member of the Yao Ming, a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame and the chairman of the Chinese Basketball Association. Having another Chinese-born star in the NBA would have boosted interest in the market the NBA is increasingly reliant on. So it seems like the NBA was trying to find a token so they could get more Chinese viewership. Oh, they are dirty. Anyway, having another Chinese star would have boosted the interest in NBA markets increasingly. Okay. The report details that league officials knew of what was going on in these academies. One American coach called them sweat camps. NBA Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum said that the league wasn't aware of any human rights issues in 2016 when it opened its camp in Xinjiang, where the Chinese government is detaining and torturing Uyghur Muslims. Tatum later said, "Our job is not to take a position on every single human rights violation." Oh, really? Really? That gets a wow. Except the NBA has increasingly seen that as its job. The league has fully embraced Black Lives Matter, putting the slogan on its courts and allowing players to wear BLM slogans on the backs of their jerseys. The NBA pulled the All-Star game out of Charlotte in 2017 over North Carolina's transgender bathroom bill, but it didn't shutter its Xinjiang camp until last year. It's not hard to see why the NBA let the abuse go on until the scrutiny over its China ties became too severe. According to ESPN, NBA China is a $5 billion with a B dollar enterprise. The NBA even asked current and former NBA employees not to speak to ESPN about its story.
China is asshole.
To its credit, ESPN, which has financial ties to both China and the NBA, went ahead with this report. It's a damning indictment on the NBA that it pursued this project as a cash grab and now are looking to cover its mistakes as best it can. This goes beyond simply overlooking the abuses of the Chinese government. The NBA made itself an accessory to them, and it must answer for it. Now, I have a prediction. That sometime in the next couple weeks, probably sooner than later, ESPN is somehow going to get banned from a Chinese event for printing this story. Or Chinese investments are going to run away from ESPN for publishing that story. It's just a prediction. I'm just saying it could happen. It will happen, in fact. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna finish on a high note. I thought this was very cute. A little video that was on Twitter, and This is a heartwarming story. It happened in Arkansas. And, you know, we talk about race relations and relations with the police. But some Arkansas police did a really cool thing. I'll probably get the music strike for this, but I don't care because this is a great story. Let me get this thing running in a second here. And we'll pause it. Get the volume. And this is how we're going to finish today. This is really cool. And I'll read along just in case you can't read it here. This 7-year-old received a special birthday surprise. In fact, I'll mute the music because then I won't get the strike. Brian Jeffrey had his bike stolen while he was in a Walmart in Arkansas with his sister. Now notice the police car coming. When the Conway Police Department heard what happened, they decided to plan a special treat for him. Along with some help from the local community, police officers threw a birthday parade for the young boy. So all these police cars did a police cruiser with lights flashing, but the biggest surprise of the day was his birthday gift. And it brought him to tears. Police bought him a new bike, as you can see right there. The officers gifted Brian a brand new bike and a matching helmet. His mom said it was the greatest birthday party ever. Now, and then the police officers ran into the crowd with billy clubs and beat everyone to a pulp. Okay, so no, they didn't. No, that you know what? It's funny. You hear stories about like that all the time. Very nice story, and not one of it's yeah, it's not the America that's portrayed on CNN or MSNBC. Sometimes cops do good things. I think we can all agree with that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. You know, we're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT. Now, one quick note. My outro has been updated, so the latest beauty of my flower gardens are going to be showing. So if you're into that stuff, you can hang around for that. But you know, before you go, if you haven't done so, I got 60 people here. That's awesome. It's been more closer to 60 lately than 50, and that means the audience is growing. That's awesome. Please share the stream out. Let's keep it growing. I just got over 800 subscribers, this close to that magic 1,000 that makes you able to do so many more things on YouTube. Also, like I said, click the like button on the way out. And if you can also, if you're watching on replay, leave a comment in the comment section. Share the stream. And then we also do donations and super chats through the Streamlabs link down below, and what it shows up in the chat and at PDawgnight.live. Follow me on Twitter, MindGavinParlor, if you need notifications, because Twitter doesn't always do great on that. And finally, just another thank you. You guys got me up to 800. Tomorrow we'll celebrate that, the 800 subscriber special. I might even have a couple guests. We'll see what happens. Maybe no, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. Tomorrow for the 800 subscriber special, we'll do a call-in show. So I'll have a link where you can pop onto the show, and you guys can control what we talk about tomorrow. Make sure if you're going to come on the show, just make sure you have a microphone and either earbuds or headphone or whatever, so that you can do that. It'll be through a stream. What's it called? StreamYard. It'll be a StreamYard link. So if you want to, you can either use an avatar or you can use a camera. That's up to you. It doesn't matter. Anyway, that's it for today, people. I appreciate you coming by. Thanks again. But I got to go. I got things to do. My name is PDawg Knight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Watch the intro. Watch the outro. New flowers. Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.